For the typographical logos, you can modify the word by adding little illustrations and changing the font this time. These ones rely less on a box that's around it, like with the original ones, but these ones now you can change the color and kind of like illustrate the word a bit more. So with a word like love, I could these are very obvious ones, not super creative. I could add like little shape tools. I always try to use a shape tool if I can. It makes it just a lot simpler. But you'll see I might have some issues with that. So I can start to connect that there, and I click on these and nudge these over. So I just copied and pasted the original one. So that there kind of makes a tall, weird heart. You could do something like that and fill that in to make a heart. Or let's get rid of this. I already changed the font of this. You can click on the word, go to type, create outlines to change it from a font now to a bunch of paths and anchor points. So look at here, this makes it a lot easier and a lot more consistent. I could take this and I can just round, oops. If I click without double clicking, it's gonna round them all. I'm gonna double click. There we go. Double click, double click. And I could start to kind of make a really fun love that kind of mimics the design of the font too. So the heart now looks a little more close to the font style. I could also, to create a heart, click and pull. Let me try that again. Click. I'm going to go across where the arch ends. Click and pull. Go back here. And I can drag this line until I see a center point. And I could just draw like a half of a heart and go to my arrow tool, copy it, paste it. I must have had an invisible line. There it again, copy, paste. And then I'm going to right click and transform and reflect it. And if I put these together, because I'm using those guides, I was able to make sure I went right to the middle, and I can use my arrow tools like this. It still looks a little sharp edged. I can take my white arrow tool and look at, there's like a little modification. So you really don't have to be great with your pen tool even to then go and modify it after. So now I have two separate shapes. If you drag over both of them, you can right click and you can join them together as well. So now it's just one shape that I could do that. So if I wanted to draw my own, and it might be kind of cute to have it touching and have it a little bit larger as well. So just kind of look at how it fills the space. I don't think that I need color for that. Okay, let's try a different word. So let's try the word E. And I'm going to use all caps. And I found this cute font. Remember with the fonts, you can go in here, you can go in up top here. And with them, you're not just limited to what's on your computer. You can go and find more fonts and you can filter them by the style of font that you want. So I went in here and chose handwritten fonts to find the word B, or to find the font for my word B. Okay, so B, I could do like a cute little, like, I don't know, swirls or something. So remember, you can use the line tool, you can use the pencil tools. I like to just keep it simple. There is under the line tool, there's a swirl tool. Sometimes I'll do this to like add little embellishments to my letters. So I'm doing a line and I'm playing with the stroke, playing with the uniformity. I can go over to the right and also play with some things over there. Mine is a little bit cluttered, but if I go to window and I go to stroke, there is a stroke line here, and I could even do like a dash line. I could have the ends of the dashes be, I can change this, like how far apart the dashes are. I can change, how this looks, and I can make it go from thick to thin in different ways. I kind of like the rounded because these letters are kind of rounded at the end. So I like to stick with a similar style here. There is a way to do a cap corner too. See, this rounded the edges. So you've got all these different functions here. So I could copy and paste and rotate and change this a bit and just kind of, I'm thinking like I don't know, this might be too much, but adding maybe a bee swarming around. So you can really illustrate these a bunch or keep it kind of simple. I'm gonna right click, transform, reflect. And with these, remember, you can do like different opacities or different colors if you want. So I could make this look like a bee. I could draw a little bee. So if I were to draw a bee, maybe use my shape tools. That's always my go-to. Make that fill. And maybe I do want to use some color here. So pencil. Pencil is the stroke. And I might have to make these. I'm going to make these kind of match. Oh, look at, I put the outline in yellow. Oops. Because this is selected, it's kind of cutting apart my shape. So I'm going to go off of that. And I'm just going to draw. I could use the pencil tool. I could use the pen tool. Some little scribbly stripes. I might have to go back in and change that style again. But anyway, I could just really quickly draw a cute little bee with some stripes. Oops. So I'm just illustrating this. And then maybe like a little stinger at the back as well. That's perfect for a stinger. I often use my arrow tools on my keyboards too to like move things away. Maybe this I'll put, I think that's okay. I could make that black maybe. Okay, but you get the gist, like having like a little bee. I could do like just quick little lines. Oops, that didn't look right. The wings or something. Maybe he needs a head too. So if I can build something out of a shape, I'll do that first. I could add some details and stuff to the, to the body and stuff. Remember, if you select over things, I'm going to hold shift and grab the head too, because I didn't select that. You could right click and group this together so your little bee doesn't fall apart. Or over here, you can group as well. That way you can like move him around. Oops, I lost one of my stripes. That's okay. It got moved to the back, I think, when I grouped it. Just going to bring it to the front. Okay, so you could do something like this. I was also thinking it might be cute. I'm trying to do this quickly. That you could do something where you make some stripes in the letters. Okay, and for my last part, I could use the pen tool, the pencil tool, the line tool, whatever is easier to draw. I was thinking some stripes across. You can see my little guides kind of appear when I get to where I started and ended here. And if I don't want it to be dashed, it was undashed. I unchecked that. And then I can click on these and hold shift one at a time. And grab those. Oh, shift, grab this one and just make them thicker. Nope. And they're white, and maybe make them not uniform, but make them a little bit stripy. I somehow lost his little stinger. It's underneath somewhere. When I grouped him, it got lost. Okay, I'm going to step back and I will just add a new one. Sometimes that's easier just to redraw it. His little stripes got messed up too. So, but for purposes of quick demonstration, I'll just kind of skip over that. Okay. So now he's got a little stinger. So there is B. Okay, for this one, I'm going to write the word heart in a bold font. Stretch that out with my shift key. And I'm going to actually make this is too long for a heart, so I'm going to stretch it so it fills up a little more space. And then I'm going to go up to Type, Create Outlines to make it into paths and anchor points. And then I'm going to try this thing called, under Object, it's called Envelope Distort. And you can make this with a mesh. So when I have a mesh here, it puts anchor points along in a mesh along the word. And for a heart, when I'm thinking about this, and you'll kind of see what I mean in a minute, I need to kind of see how much mesh I need over top. And really, I'm only going to be pulling down the center and rounding the corners and making into a point. So I'm going to make this into the shape of a heart. So I think less mesh and grids is better for this. So I'm going to click. I am going to go to my white arrow tool. I did 2 by 2. And then I'm just going to start clicking and dragging. So you can start to see all of these curves here. So I might need to actually drag in to make a point. And I might want to not make a complete heart. Like maybe I can keep it a little curved in the middle. If I wanted to get rid of the curve altogether, I could drag in these handles and make it go to a complete point. But see, the A is starting to get distorted. That's okay. Here, if I click here, I can see there's a handle here and a handle here. This one's kind of hard to see. I can click and drag this out and in to round it. And see, it's distorting my letters right with it. So if I had too many columns and rows in my mesh, this would be a lot harder. And then for this one, double click. Let's see if this gets really distorted. If I want to make that a point, I have to bring in these handles again. And this could be a rounded heart if I wanted to. And bring these in and just adjust it this way. Let's see, I think I need to bring this whole thing in. And then I can kind of work that out. For this guy, if I want it to be a point, I can bring that in. Just takes a little bit of patience. I'm gonna bring this down to get rid of that sharp edge. Let's see. It's looking more like a heart, kind of wobbly one. I'm gonna go in and smooth that out a little bit. So just one way you can distort your letters. I would work on this a bit more. That kind of it distorts the A too much. So that's one way to do it. Kind of drag out certain things in more technical shapes. One more thing that I thought of, a simpler way and maybe a little better way to do B, is to just type it and go up to Effect, go down to Warp, and these just do really simple warping, and you could do something like you inflate. And then this kind of looks like the body of a B. You could even double click and change one of the letters to yellow. And then I don't know if you'd think it would look better with a little black circle for a head. You could kind of play with that and make that into a B as well. Hold Alt, double that. Can even do a little swirl off the bottom or some antennas or something like that, just to add something of interest. Take the pen tool. So let's move over a little. And then once you're done with them, I like to group them together. So I just thought of that. That's a little bit different way to do B as well. This one might be cute as Buzz even, or something like that.